Let's take a look at how Inertia streamlines inspection and quality control processes for complex construction projects. The foundation of Inertia is intelligent construction drawings, also known as live drawings, a living version of your project drawings that connects every inspection, checklist, issue, etc. to its real-world location. So imagine I'm a superintendent preparing for a series of upcoming inspections. And instead of juggling spreadsheets or calling around for updates, I open Inertia and I can jump straight to my live drawing to check on the status. Every symbol that we see here is a living object. We can attach records to those, such as checklists, status trackers, inspections as well. Everything is connected back to this one same core point. So let's check one of these inspections here. I see this IR number 30. This is in new quality control, so this is in my court. I can review any of the information that was entered by the trade partner to create the inspection request here. I can see schedule, date, and time, etc., who it's assigned to. I can also see a full history on the inspection request, every change that happens, whether a document is attached or removed, if the inspection request is moved forward or backward, passes or fails. Every entry, every activity is going to be tracked here in the history panel. We can also see the sheet that was attached directly to this inspection request and see the status of those objects. So these are all of the rooms that are included in my inspection request. And I can workflow this to move it forward straight from Inertia, straight from here. So I can select OpenIR. I'm going to record who said this is good to go and move it forward to our inspection team. And we're good to go. Back on our live drawing here, I'd like to look around and see what else is happening on this level. When I click on an object, on the right-hand side, you'll see any of the records that are linked to this object will automatically load. And when I hover my mouse over them, we can also see the other objects that are included with that record. So IR number 49, looks like we have a drywall in-wall final. When I hover, you see that all of the walls are selected there. I can again open up this record, review it, make any changes if I need to. If I need to send this backwards to the trade partner, I can return it to them and ask them to make any corrections, or I could move it forward to the inspector. To get an overall view of what's happening on our third floor sheet here, I'd like to run a quick report on inspections. I can limit this to show specific inspection types. If I'm looking for an in-wall final or a drywall close-up, for example, I could look for that. Or I could specify a specific permit, TIO. If we have VCR milestones, we can track those as well. We can also show markups, etc. But let's run a report here. So I can see, based on the color coding, I can see the status of the inspection that is linked to that area. I see I have a failed inspection here. I can click on the room, click on the inspection, and find out what's going on here. We could also quickly report on failed inspections if we needed to. So let's run report on inspections, failed, run our report. Now we have quick access to dig into these records more, find out what the issue is and how we can correct it and workflow this back to the inspector. Or if we need to send this back to the trade partner, we can do that as well. You can also print a copy of this report, a nice visual copy of what's going on, what the status is, and a color key over here. But let's switch to the swim lane view in the Inertia Inspection tool. What we're seeing right now, the live drawing, this is the more spatial interactive view, and the inspection tool, the dedicated inspection tool, is the more process-oriented view. So when we're talking about swim lanes, you can see the visual workflow that is laid out here, and every inspection that is processed through Inertia is tied into this visual workflow. So we'll start here with the trade partners. They'll create their inspections. They open them to quality control if they are ready. If quality control agrees that everything is ready to inspect, they'll open it on to the inspector into inspection open, and then ultimately everything will end up in passed. Here's a more detailed view of the inspection workflow in swim lanes. Trade partner will create the inspection request. They'll open to quality control. Quality control gives it the green light and says moves forward to inspection. Inspector agrees and moves it to passed. And down at the bottom here, we see a slightly more detailed version of the inspection request workflow. You'll see that if a trade partner, for example, opens an inspection request to quality control and you don't agree that it's ready for inspection, you can return it to the sub or send it back to them as revision required. When you are ready to open to the inspection team, you can open it in inspection open, and if the inspector fails it, it will land back in quality control's court, or they can send something back as a revision. If there's documentation that's missing, something that's really minor, you can change it without marking the inspection request as a fail, and that would open back up to our inspection team and ultimately on to passed. Every inspection in Inertia is going to track all of the workflow changes, every workflow step that we move through. It's all tracked in the individual history of the records. But here in the swim lane view, I can quickly click into quality control new to see what is in my swim lane, what is on my docket that needs to be approved. I have IR 49 here. I can review this and review the history, all of the changes that are made, any additions or subtractions to the record, everything is tracked right here. We have the live drawing that was attached to the inspection request. We can see what is associated with that. Go. And if I agree that everything looks good and this is ready to open to the inspection team, I can select my Open IR option. I'll record who on my team said that this is ready to move forward. You can change the date and time of the inspection and send this off to the inspector. And in that quick workflow action, I have updated the status and stage of the inspection request. I've automatically assigned it to my inspection user, and I've sent a notification to the inspector that he now has something in his court. He can now review that inspection on the schedule. Here is the IR main list tool. This is where we can see all of the inspections on the project. You'll notice, again, everything is color-coded by stage and status. And there is, this is a very, very customizable view that you can use to either just locate and workflow inspection requests, or you can also generate custom reports by exporting to CSV, for example, export to CSV selected, and then I can select which columns I'd like to include and sort of custom build my CSV report. But one of the big benefits of the IR main list tool is that it's very easy to quickly identify where the bottlenecks are. Are there a bunch of inspections that are backed up with the trade partners that haven't opened them to the quality control team? You'd be able to see that here. Are there a bunch of inspections that are backed up with a particular special inspector, or is there a particular trade that has a bunch of inspections backed up? You'd be able to very quickly identify that and narrow that down here. Using the various filters that are over here on the left, or the quick filters, custom filters, etc. that are here, it will make it much easier for teams to quickly isolate where process is slowing down and allow you to take action before it impacts your schedule. So by combining the Inertia inspection tool and the live drawings, Inertia is giving you both the spatial view and the process view of the inspections. What's happening, where it's happening, what stage it's in, etc. And that means fewer coordination meetings, faster closeouts, and total visibility across really every inspection across the job. Inertia is turning what used to be a really messy spreadsheet and email system into a really interactive and living workflow, all built on the same drawings that your team already has and trusts.